So the first step was changing my attitudes. When I was diagnosed, my attitude sucked. I was a great victim, and I had lots of good niceness disease. That had to change. First thing my sister said was, "Get thee to a therapist." So I did, because I needed to work on this victim status that I'd been carrying around for a long time. So one attitude that we can change when we have a diagnosis that's deadly, or at least terrifying, is to change our attitudes. To move from being a victim of dis-ease to being a victor over the dis-ease. When we are victims, we're experiencing the emotion of hurt in our bodies. But we're not experiencing the feeling of hurt. So I had to learn to feel the emotion of hurt in my body without thinking about it, judging it, analyzing it, or making stories about it. Once I learned to experience that sensation in my body without thinking about it, I could begin to move into a victor mentality. So that's one attitude shift that we can do. Another attitude shift would be from worry to surrender. When I'm worried about something, I'm scared, I'm afraid, but I'm not experiencing the sensations in my body of fear. I'm not necessarily feeling the butterflies. I'm thinking about what's making me afraid. Oh, I got a scan coming up. Oh, I got a doctor's appointment coming up. I learned to stop the thinking and experience the sensations in my body. Then I could move into surrender, which is when I am no longer attached to the outcome, but I'm still doing everything I can to have a good outcome. A third attitude adjustment that I really needed was to stop the resentments. My therapist said I was dripping with resentment. That did not serve me. That did not help me heal. That had to change. So I learned how to experience the sensation of anger in my body. When I experienced those sensations in my body, like pressure and heat in my head, and I stopped thinking about it, eventually it would dissipate. Sometimes it would get more intense. Sometimes it would move to a different part of my body. But if I stayed with the sensation, it would lift within about 90 seconds. Now, if I started thinking again about what made me angry, then I would have to start the process all over again. Sometimes I did the process for more than an hour. But what happened was it lifted, it genuinely lifted, and I began to experience gratitude and peace. I want to share with you a story about another woman who used this process to help herself. Bonnie is a Thriver Soup reader from Fort Worth, Texas. She's got a couple of young teenagers. She's got a husband who's out traveling all the time. Well, he's not around to help her out. She's got shopping, she's got house cleaning, she's got endless chores of being a mother without help. What was she going to do? Now, when she was first diagnosed, people came out of the woodwork to help her. But after a couple of months, she got more and more resentful because she wasn't getting enough of the help she needed. She was getting into trouble because she wasn't able to get everything done, and she needed to because she had to have treatments. The solution. Bonnie read the Thriver Soup entry, resentment, raging bull. And she knew that she had to change her attitude away from resentment in order to heal her life. So she did. She sat down and wrote down every resentment she could ever think of holding. When she got done with her list, she shredded it. And then she began working on a list of gratitudes. She learned how to manage her anger in a healthy way. People came back out of the woodwork to help her. She got the help she needed. She got the treatment she needed. She's thriving. So once we change our attitudes, we can begin reconstructing our behaviors.